it's clear that I mean, from this conversation, and before when we chatted, you're passionate about what you do. But this is, I mean, I feel like we have to talk about this up front. Like, it's a profession that historically has been dominated by women, right? I mean, like, I feel like a lot of our listeners probably, when they just hear doula, they think, oh, a doula is a woman. So
Mhm.
I just wonder if you can take us a little bit through, like, your journey and kind of what even inspired you to get into this line of work.
Yeah, for sure. I love telling this story. It's like the most, of course, frequently asked question. Uh,
Yeah.
just because, like you say, it's just been a female dominated industry. Of course, you have male like OBs and doctors and things of that nature, but when you look at the more holistic side of it, the doula and the midwifery side is, of course, dominated by women. And one reason why I chose this route than going into the medical field, of course, when you let on the outside looking in, when people haven't really experienced things in the medical system, they don't really grasp what all it entails. So I felt like this would be more of a route for me because I'm more of like the more holistic side. I'm more of a on a client-based care where I can get to know you as a person other than the patient, you know. But so I'm getting sidetracked. Let me go back to what got me into this. So um, it takes me back to when I was a child. So I was around 11 or 12 years old, and I sat down and asked my mom, like, how did her labor, birth, pregnancy, and everything go with me? Because I'm the only child. So that was her only pregnancy and birth experience. And at the time, I was growing up, I was learning things about life, enjoying life. And so it just had me curious to like know, did she struggle at all? Like, did you have like, was it just like a quick, easy labor, like how I think it would be and stuff like that? And she hit me with something that I wasn't expecting. She was telling me that she had to have an emergency C-section. And so at the time, I knew how babies got here. I knew what conception conceived of. I knew what, like most, like majority of like births, it'll be vaginal. And it's different now, especially in the West over here in America. Those numbers drastically change. But at the time, I knew that, most babies were born vaginally. So when she told me she had to have a C-section, I didn't know what it was, but I did know what an emergency was. And when she said emergency C-section, something had went wrong. And so that made me ask more questions like, well, what happened? And so she was telling me that every time she had a contraction, my heart rate would drop. And it got to the point
Mm.
where it dropped so low, she would have had a few more. I would have like flatlined basically. It would have been a stillbirth. And so when she explained like what like a stillbirth was and like what the heart rate, all that kind of stuff meant, and I grasped it as a child, it didn't sit right with me because it was a possibility of me not being here. Like it was
Oh.
like really it was that close to me like either being here on earth or not, and at the time, 12 years old, like I know y'all could go back and think about when you was a kid and like the amount of joy that you had just, waking up, going to school, having fun with your friends, playing video games, like all this kind of stuff, knowing that was a possibility of me not having that and not being able to live the life that I live, it didn't sit right with me. So, um, growing up, I really wanted to understand what happened, why did that occur, what's the, purpose of a C-section, when is it actually beneficial rather than unnecessary. Like growing up, I was like learning these things and I saw that like we all come in life this way. Like this is how we all get here. You know what I mean? Like we
Hmm.
all lead
Yeah.
different lives. We all have different professions. We all have different hobbies, but we all come into life this way. And to know that, I could not have been here or someone else could have not be here. I want everybody to be able to enjoy the experience that I've enjoyed, And so that's like right then and there, I was like, okay, well, me, I'm a man. Physically, I cannot give birth. But the next best thing I told myself that I could do was help those who can. And so from that
Mm.
moment forward, I'm like, I'm going to be doing something surrounding birth and making sure babies get earthside safely as possible. And for, families to be able to be whole and not having to, go to the hospital thinking you're going to have a baby and going home without one. Like it's a lot of things that go into it. And I just wanted to be able to combat the numbers that we face over here in America right now, especially in my community. So, Yeah, that's just a little bit of what really sparked my passion to get into this. And of course, growing up, going graduating high school, getting into college, I started to see the world for really what it was, and know that there are dangers out here that different people face. And so
Mm.
that's just even another reason why I really enjoy doing this work that I'm doing, and I know that this is my purpose on earth. So, I'm just glad that I can
Wow.
actually live out my purpose.
Hey friends, nice to see you here. While you're here, why don't you hit the like button, click subscribe, maybe ring the notifications bell, all the YouTube stuff. Oh, and if you're into podcasts, you should check out Modern Dadhood on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, all of the fun places that do the podcasting thing. If you're into it, you're into it.